Alright, so my name is Yukishi, and if you haven't already watched, I talked about my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh archetype, that being the hero archetype, whether it's Elemental, Destiny, Vision, Evil, Masked, Contrast, Neos Heroes, etc. But specifically, I have a huge preference for the elemental hero variant of things, because I like playing with the elements and I like using whatever cards necessary depending on the situation. Because I think ending on the same end field all the time in the same way is kind of boring and a little dull. But that's how Yu-Gi-Oh is nowadays, unfortunately. Now, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about hero and hero combos. So there's going to be quite a few combos with this, and I am currently using an interesting type of hero deck where, if you are at all familiar with MBT, he tried to construct a list similar to what I constructed, but I'm also going to give my own spin and take on things, I think. With that, let's go into some of the combos. Alright, so I know this looks a bit funky, but go with me here. So this combo only works if you're using some Fiendsmith cards, as per your engine, because some of the Fiendsmith cards can actually help you to get to a Dusted Gold. Obviously, this is with the idea in mind that you are playing the Evil Hero card, the new Evil Hero cards that have been recently released. So, for your starting cards, you can either have Fiendsmith Engraver or Fiendsmith Tract. For the sake of the combo, I'm going to use Tract instead. Alright, so we're going to activate Fiendsmith's Tract, and then, with its effect, we can add a Light Fiend monster from our deck to our hand, then discard a card. We can bench this card, fusion summon a Fiendsmith fusion monster from your extra deck, blah blah blah. We don't care about that effect, we only care about adding a Light Fiend from our deck, and then immediately discarding. So, in typical plays, we add... Where is it? There you are. The Fabled Leary, which is a level 1 Light Fiend monster. And then we discard it. However, if this card is discarded to the graveyard, we can special summon it. So just to save time, we will special summon Leary. Put this to the grave. Now, with Leary on the field, we can send it to grave to link summon into the link 1 Fiendsmith's Requiem, which requires a Light Fiend tuner, which is what Leary is. You can only special summon Requiem once per turn. During the main phase, quick effect, we can tribute this card and then special summon a Fiendsmith monster from our hand or deck. So, we tribute the Requiem to special summon Lacrima, the Crimson Tears, since it is a Fiendsmith monster, because this card is always treated as a Fiendsmith card, especially in our deck. So, we special summon her. And, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can send a Fiendsmith card from your deck to the grave. So, since we didn't have Engraver in our hand, that's how we send him to the grave. Now, with Engraver's effect, if this card is in your grave, you can shuffle one other Light Fiend monster from your graveyard into the deck / extra deck, special summon this card. So, for the sake of the combo, I am going to select Requiem. So we put him back, and then we special summon Engraver. Now we have two Light Fiend monsters. Now we send both of them to grave to link summon into the link 2 Fiendsmith's Sequence, which requires 2 monsters, including a Light Fiend monster. Now, during your main phase, you can fusion summon a Fiend Fusion from your extra deck by shuffling its materials from your graveyard into the deck. So we are going to do the 2 Fiendsmith cards. So, Crimson Tears and Engraver, to summon Aerial Eater, which is a Fiend monster, which requires 2 Fiend monsters with the same attribute. Now, if this card is fusion summoned, you can send a Fiend monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is how we get to our hero plays. So we can now finally, if Doing Book wants to work, there we go, we can now finally send a hero, which is going to typically be Evil Hero Sinister Necrom. With Sinister Necrom's effect, you can banish this card from your grave, special summon an Evil Hero monster from your hand or deck except itself. So we banish him, and then special summon the newly released Dead End Prison. If you control a fusion monster that must be special summon with Dark Fusion, you can special summon him from your hand. You can only use or special summon him once per turn this way. You can send a hero monster from your deck to the grave. If you fusion summon a hero monster this turn, this piece of card can be used as a substitute for one material mentioned by name. So we can send a hero from our deck to a grave, and that's typically going to be Shadow Mist, I believe, if memory serves, with how the combo works. Yes, indeedy. So we send Shadow Mist to grave. And it is how we are going to summon an evil hero Infernal Wing Backfire. So now, with Shadow Mist's effect, if this card is special summon, we don't care about the effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a hero monster from your deck to your hand, except itself. You can only use one Shadow Mist effect per turn and only once that turn, which means you only get the first effect or the second effect during that turn, which in my opinion is kind of horseshit, but whatever. So from here, we are going to add a Dusted Gold. With a Dusted Gold, we can discard him, add a Dark Fusion card or a card that mentions it from your deck to your hand. So we are going to pitch him to the grave, to graveyard, to then add Dark Fusion. To then add Dark Fusion. Where is it? There it is. Actually, no, it's Dark Calling, right. So we add Dark Calling to hand. At this stage, I am going to quickly link off Fiendsmith Sequence and Aerial Eater, send them to grave, to link summon into the Ferocious Flame Swordsman. Now, this card is very key and important, for a reason you'll see in a bit. So next I'll activate Dark Calling, fusion summoning Evil Hero Infernal Wing Backfire by banishing Dead End Prison. I said banish. And then a Dusted. Must be special summoned with Dark Fusion. If this card is special summoned, you can add a Dark Fusion or one card that mentions it from your deck or grave to hand, except fusion monsters. So from here, we are going to add. We can either add Evil Assault or Dark Fusion. So we are going to add Evil Assault. And this is pretty much it for your one-card combo, because with Evil Assault, you need to discard a card, take a level 4 or lower Evil Hero from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. Also, for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, you can special summon from the extra deck except hero monsters. Now let's go into the very obvious... And if you somehow end up with Malicious in the graveyard, you can use Malicious as material with Ferocious Flame Swordsman to then link into Cross Crusader. However, a key important fact... You can't use Cross Crusader's effect at all, since you special summoned non-hero monsters on your field. Yeah, Cross Crusader has that kind of clause. You can only use each effect of Cross Crusader once per turn. Also, you cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate either of this card's effects, except hero monsters. Which means, any card that wasn't a hero that was special summoned completely nullifies Cross Crusader's effect. Which is complete and total dog shit. So, anyway, let me show you what I personally prefer to do instead. Alright, so this is going to be a 2-card combo-ish with Fiendsmith Tract. Now, obviously, you can also use Engraver for this, but Engraver is mainly just picking up Fiendsmith Tract anyway. So, we are going to activate Fiendsmith Tract to add a light fiend monster from our deck to right hand, which is going to be a Dusted Gold. So, we add him to hand. Then we have to discard a card, and that's going to be, hopefully, Malicious. After that, we are going to then activate a Dusted Gold's effect by discarding him, if Dueling Book will let me, to add Evil Assault from our deck to our hand. Technically a 3-card combo now that I think about it. So, I'm just going to take, let's take Engraver, because why the fuck not? He's not important to the combo. So now we activate Evil Assault, so we discard a card. We can now take a level 4 or lower evil hero from our deck and either add it to hand or special summon it. Also, for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, can special summon from the extra deck except hero monsters. So, we are going to special summon from our extra deck Dead End Prison. We are then going to activate Dead End Prison's effect. We can send a hero from our deck to the grave, and then if you fusion summon a hero monster this turn, this face-up card can be used as a substitute for one material. So, we will send, I believe from here, we want to send Sinister Necrom, because Sinister Necrom allows us to get... Where is he? Oh, am I not playing him in this version of the deck? No, I don't think I am. I don't think I'm even playing Super Poly either. Huh. Yeah. So we can either send Sinister Necrom or Shadow Mist to grave. From here, we are going to want to send Shadow Mist to grave. With Shadow Mist's effect, since it was sent to the grave, we can add a card from deck to hand. So we add Vion. Now, since we didn't normal summon yet this turn, we can now normal summon Vion to field. And if this card is normal or special summoned, you can send a hero monster from your deck to the grave. So, we will send, very easily, Denier, I think. Granted, Denier can be a free discard, but, so, send Denier to grave. And then with Vion's other effect, once per turn, you can banish a hero from your grave, add a polymerization from your deck to your hand. So from here, we are going to banish our Shadow Mist to add polymerization. And then we activate polymerization instead of link summoning. So we send Vion and Dead End to fusion summon into Backfire. Backfire requires Avian or Bristanatrax plus a hero monster. Excuse me. So Dead End Prison becomes one of those two materials. With Backfire's effect, if this card is special summoned, we can add a Dark Fusion or a card that mentions it from our deck or grave to our hand, except for fusion monsters. So from here, we can then add either Dark Fusion or Dark Calling, and we're going to pick up Dark Calling. From here, we are going to activate a malicious effect. We're going to banish malicious to special summon malicious from our deck. We are then going to link these two monsters off to get out Cross Crusader. Cross Crusader is going to bring back a malicious from our deck, from our graveyard, who will then be tributed for his other effect, where we add a hero monster with a different name from our deck to our hand. And the monster we are going to pick is actually Liquid Soldier. Then we use Malicious's effect again. We banish him to then special summon another copy of Malicious to the field. Wherever he is, there he is. Go away, Stratos. Not yet. And then with these two, we link them off and fuse into Infernal Divisor. With Infernal Divisor's effect, when he's summoned, we can reveal a hero, which is going to be Neos Wingman, and add Neos from our deck to our hand. Now, from here, we are going to want to use Denier's effect. If you have a Destiny Hero monster on the field or in the grave other than himself, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. So, we will special summon him to the field. And then with his other effect, Since he was special summoned, we can take a Destiny hero from our deck, grave, or banished and place it on top of our deck. So we will take one of our banished maliciouses and put him onto the top of the deck. So we can then banish the malicious in our grave to summon the malicious we just put on top of our grave, or on top of our deck. And then from here, we will link the two off, or link off Denier, link off Malicious, and the Devicer into Wonder Driver. Now from here, we are going to have to activate Dark Calling. With this, we will banish a Dusted Gold, and since it's a level 5 or higher, Backfire, to then summon Malibane to the zone Wonder Driver points to, which is right here. And since a hero monster was special summoned to a zone he points to, we can add back Polymerization and set it on our field. From here, we can activate Polymerization using the two heroes in our hand, both Neos and Liquid Soldier, to fusion summon into Infernal Rage. We are not going to use Liquid Soldier's effect yet. With Infernal Rage's effect, we can add a favorite card from our deck to our hand, and if we're turn 1, that's typically going to have to be Favorite Contact. Now with his other effect, we can send him to grave to quote-unquote fusion summon Sunrise to the field. With Sunrise now on the field, we can add Miracle Fusion from our deck to our hand. With Miracle Fusion, we have a bunch of options. So we activate Miracle Fusion. Now, we can either go into Wake Up your elemental hero, but we already used Shadow Mist's effect, so we can't really do that, and we don't have DPE on the field. We can go into Ab-Zero, or if this is going second, we can go into Great Tornado, if we picked up Stratos instead. For the sake of the combo, I'm going to pick Absolute Zero, which will require a hero and a water monster, so I'm just going to use Neos and Liquid Soldier to then summon Ab-Zero to the field. And since I banished Liquid Soldier, if this card is used as a fusion material for a hero monster and sent to the grave or banished, you can draw 2, then discard 1. So we can then draw 2 cards, then discard 1. I'm probably going to send this one to the grave, just as an example. And there you go. That is what the Evil Assault gets you. I believe this is the full end field and combo, because I don't think you're able to get another Polymerization at all. You're not able to fully get to DPE or Wake Up. You have to use Mist and all of that other jazz. And you don't even get to special summon out or send Necrom to special summon the other evil hero, which is Infernal Rider, which, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Dark Fusion from your deck or grave to your hand. You can banish this card and 4 other monsters from your grave. You can set a Super Poly from your deck. Also, you can special summon except hero monsters, but you can fusion summon monsters that must be fusion summoned with Dark Fusion using other cards' effects. These effects last until the end of your opponent's turn. You can only use each effect of Evil Hero and Infernal Rider once per turn. So what you want to do, summon Dead End, activate Dead End's effect, send, where is it? Send Sinister Necrom. Sinister Necrom special summons Infernal Rider. Infernal Rider gets you a copy of Dark Fusion, and then you fusion summon with those two, with Infernal Rider and Dead End, into Backfire, and then Backfire lets you add Dark Calling, and then you combo off from there. So that's also another thing you could do, instead of grab Vion and normal summon Vion. So then that way, your normal summon isn't eaten up. And that strategy is completely and totally viable as well, by the way. But, yeah. I might still play around and tinker with the deck a bit more, but as it currently stands, the hero list is pretty much perfect, as is. Obviously, this deck still kind of sort of dies. Like, if we're using the Ferris combo, which is, Paging Malicious, Special Summoning Ferris, and then putting Increase in the back row, the combo still dies if we hard draw Increase, which is the biggest Garnet in all of time. But hey, that's what happens when you play a Garnet, I guess. That's why I like cards like Malicious, Denier, Liquid Soldier, even, and Shadow Mist, even, for Wake Up, because they're not really Garnets. Like, yeah, sure, you don't like seeing them, but if you do see them, they give you options to pick up different cards instead. Because Wake Up lets you special summon from your deck or hand. If it only did deck, then you wouldn't be able to special summon Mist from hand. So, yeah. Now, time to show you the typical hero combo that most people play with. Alright, so this is my current iteration of hero, I think, that I am currently using in Macedol. So, none of the new Evil Hero cards are in the deck, unfortunately, or are in Macedol, but they will be added eventually, probably in like 5 months' time. But anyway, these two are your main starting cards. You will always, at the very least, want to see Stratos in hand, because even if you don't have Ferris, you can still search for Ferris with Stratos, but only if you're able to get Malicious in hand. So we will start the turn off by normal summoning Stratos and activating its effect to add the best discard in our deck, Malicious. We will then discard Malicious to special summon Ferris from our hand, and then activate its effect to bring out Increase to our spell and trap zone. With Increase's effect, we can then tribute Ferris to special summon Increase to our side of the field. With Increase's effect, we can special summon Vion from our deck. Now, this is pretty important here. So with Vion's effect, we can send a hero from our deck to grave. So from here, this matters a lot if you're going first or going second. Going first, you're going to want to do Denier. Going second, you can do Shadow Mist, and I'll explain why in a bit. So, for the sake of the combo, we are going to send Denier from our deck to our grave. And then with Vion's other effect, we will banish Ferris to add Polymerization from our deck. We will then send Increase and Vion from our field to the grave, not Stratos, that's important, to summon Cross Crusader. Now, what Cross Crusader does is he will let us special summon our Malicious from our graveyard to the field, and then we tribute Malicious to add a hero from our deck to hand. And typically, this is where you're going to add a Dusted Gold. Next, we're going to activate Malicious's effect to banish to special summon another copy of Malicious, so we can do what I like to refer to as link climbing. So we now use the new Malicious and Cross Crusader to link summon into Infernal Divisor. With Infernal Divisor's effect, we reveal Shining Neos Wingman to add Neos from our deck to our hand. And then we link climb again with Malicious. We banish Malicious from grave to special summon Malicious from deck. We then link off the Malicious and the Infernal to link summon our last link monster, Wonder Driver. Now with Wonder Driver on the field, we can activate the effect of a Dusted Gold, send him to grave, to add Dark Calling from deck to hand, because why the hell not? Now, obviously, if you wanted to, you could also be playing Evil Assault here instead, and get off those kind of combos. But this is the Macedol variant of the deck, so we're going to go with that. So, we are going to activate Polymerization, and it is very important that we kept Stratos as material, because we are going to fusion summon Stratos with Neos in our hand to fusion summon Elemental Hero Flame Wingman Infernal Rage, which requires 2 Elemental Hero monsters with different attributes. And that is why it's important we don't use Stratos as material. Now, we are going to activate Infernal Rage's effect, as well as Wonder Driver's effect. We're going to set the Polymerization from our graveyard back to our field, and then we are going to add Favorite Contact from our deck to our hand. From here, we are going to send Infernal Rage to the graveyard to quote-unquote fusion summon into Elemental Hero Sunrise. Now, after this, it's important that you don't summon a monster in a zone Wonder Driver points to. So we're going to summon Sunrise in the middle column. With Sunrise Special Summon, we're going to add Miracle Fusion from our deck to our hand. With Miracle Fusion now in hand, we are going to activate it, and then use Infernal Rage, and Neos as material, to Special Summon Wake Up your Elemental Hero, which requires an Elemental Hero Fusion monster plus 1/+ Warrior monsters. We are then going to activate the effect of Denier in our graveyard. Since we have a Destiny Hero already in the grave, we can Special Summon him to our field. We can then activate his effect to set a Malicious from our deck, or from our Banish to the top of our deck. We can then banish Malicious from our graveyard to Special Summon Malicious. And with that set polymerization, we can fuse the Malicious on the field and the Denier on our field to summon Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. What Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer is going to do is we can target himself and wake up your Elemental Hero. So, monsters your opponent controls lose a 200 attack for each hero card in your grave. You can only use each of the following effects of DPE once per turn. Quick effect, you can destroy both one card you control and one card on the field. And since he can be targeted himself, if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can activate this effect. Special summon one Destiny Hero monster from your graveyard during the standby phase of the next turn. So, we can destroy both him and wake up your Elemental Hero. Now, if this fusion summon card is destroyed, Special Summon one Warrior monster from your hand or deck. And this is why it's important that we didn't send Shadow Mist, because we Special Summon Shadow Mist instead. Now, with Shadow Mist's effect, if this card is Special Summoned, you can add a Change Quick Play spell card from your deck to your hand. So, we are going to add Mask Change from our deck. Nope, not to grave. To hand. And then with this, we are going to activate Dark Calling, and then banish our last Malicious, and our Adjusted Gold, since he's the only evil hero, to summon Malibane. And then we are going to set our Favorite Contact and our Mask Change. And then we end our turn. So, during our opponent's standby phase, we get to Special Summon back DPE to the field. And then we will activate Mask Change, targeting Shadow Mist, sending her to the grave to Special Summon Darklaw to a zone Wonder Driver points to. And then since we Special Summoned to a zone that Wonder Driver points to, we can add back either Mask Change, Polymerization, or Miracle Fusion. Not only that, but with Shadow Mist's effect, we can add a hero from our deck to our hand. And that's, depending on the current state of things, that's either going to be Honest Neos, or a card that'll help you get back to, standard. So, Honest Neos, quick effect, you can discard this card, then target a hero monster on the field. It gains 25% attack until the end of this turn. So that's for insurance and whatnot. And during our opponent's main phase 1, before they enter battle phase, we can activate Favorite Contact, which Special Summon a fusion monster from your extra deck that mentions a hero monster as material, ignoring its summoning conditions, but placing the fusion materials mentioned on it on the bottom of the deck in any order from among cards in your hand, field, grave, and or your banished cards. If you place Neos into the deck, neither player can return the monster Special Summoned by this effect to the extra deck. So, we are going to send Neos to the bottom of the deck, and send Infernal Rage back to our extra deck, to summon Shining Neos Wingman to our field. And then with Shining Neos Wingman's effect, he needs to be summoned with Elemental Hero Neos plus one Wingman fusion monster. I'm hoping we get more Wingman fusion monsters in the future. Gains 300 attack for each monster in your grave. Also cannot be destroyed by card effects. If this card is special summoned, you can destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number of different attributes among the monsters on the field. So we have a light, a dark, light, dark, dark, light. So currently it's going to only be 2 cards on the field we can destroy. Unless if we Dark Calling into a different evil hero monster, if you so choose. So you can destroy 3 cards. That is also a possibility, instead of summoning Malibane. So that is standard hero combo for turn 1. What about turn 2? Well, let's get into that. Alright, so we're back at this stage of the game. So with Violence Effect, we can send a hero from our deck to our grave. So, turn 2, we can send Shadow Mist from our deck to our grave. And with Shadow Mist's effect, we're going to actually add Liquid Soldier here. And Liquid Soldier is going to play a key important role in this. And then, as normal, we're going to activate Violence Effect to banish Ferris, to then add a copy of Polymerization from our deck to our hand. And then, like normal, we are going to send Increase and Vion, to then summon Cross Crusader. Oop, not the grave. And then Cross Crusader will special summon Malicious and then send Malicious. And then here, we actually add Denier. So unfortunately, you won't be able to get to your evil hero plays with Dusted unless if you already have a Dusted in your opening hand. Or you activate Stratus' effect to add Dusted from deck to hand if you already had Malicious and Ferris. So from here, the combo is as normal. So we banish a Malicious to summon a Malicious. We link summon into Infernal Divisor. We activate Infernal Divisor's effect, revealing Neos to add Neos. Now here, since we already have 2 different monsters with elements, we can actually link summon Stratos with Infernal Divisor instead of banishing Malicious. So then that way, you could also potentially get out Dread Decimator instead, which is in link 3. But for the sake of the combo, and because I don't have Dread Decimator, I'm instead going to do the combo as normal. But that's just a heads up. Like, this combo will only work if you're turn 2, or if you're going turn 2. So then we link Climb into Wonder Driver. And then we activate Polymerization, fusing our Liquid Soldier in hand, and then Neos to summon out Shining Neos, or Infernal Rage. And then both of these guys' effects activate, so we can reset Polymerization. And since there's no good spell card that has Favorite in its card title, we're going to have to activate, or we're going to have to add Favorite Contact to hand anyway, regardless. So that kind of sucks. And then, like normal, we can send Infernal Rage to grave to summon out Sunrise. Sunrise adds Miracle Fusion. And then from here, we can activate Miracle Fusion, and then banish Stratos, and then banish Liquid Soldier. And that gives us the option to go into Great Tornado instead, which requires a 1 elemental hero monster plus 1 wind monster. Must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. If this card is fusion summoned, have the attack and defense of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls. Now, with Liquid Soldier's effect, since he was banished for a fusion summon, we can draw 2, then discard 1. So we can discard Denier, which is how we get Denier to the graveyard. We then activate Denier's effect to special summon him to the field, who can then let us add Malicious back to the top of our deck, and then activate the Malicious in grave to banish, to then special summon Malicious to our field, and because we have a set Polymerization, we can activate it, sending both Malicious and Denier to summon DPE. And that is primarily what you're going to do for going second. Now, obviously, if you were to use Stratos as material for a Dread Decimator, then you would summon Ab-Zero instead, or you would summon any other Elemental Hero Fusion monster in your extra deck instead. But you would still have Dread Decimator on the field and not Wonder Driver, in case, unless if you know for a fact that you're going to be able to beat your opponent this turn, don't summon Dread Decimator, because you're probably still going to want Wonder Driver at the very least. But yeah, that's Hero in a nutshell. I am very hopeful that we get a favorite spell card that we can use on turn 2 that allows us to combo off better. I'm hoping for a card that lets us shuffle one card from our hand into the deck, or just place a card from our hand into the deck, so that increase at 1 isn't that bad. I'm hoping for more Wingman fusion monsters, because Infernal Rage being the only one kind of sucks right now. But that's fine. I've seen that Rush Duel actually has like a couple of Wingman fusion monsters. Port them over to the TCG, Konami. Please, I'm begging you. Just have their fusion materials be like Infernal Rages, where it's 2 elemental hero with different elements. And then have their effects be something along the lines of fusion summoning, or adding a fusion card from deck to hand. I do have one more combo I can try and show as well. Hang on. So, what if the only card in your hand is Vision Hero Vion? What then? Well, you're going to want to normal summon Vion, and then activate his effect to send Shadow Mist from your deck to graveyard. This will then allow you to add Malicious from your deck to hand. Vion effect, you banish Shadow Mist from grave to add Polymerization. From there, you fuse both Vion and Malicious into Destiny Hero Dangerous. It requires a Destiny Hero monster plus a Dark Effect monster. Quick effect, you can discard a card, send a D-Hero monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, D-Hero monsters you control gain 200 attack for each D-Hero in your grave until the end of this turn. So, you're going to typically want to send Denier to grave. And then from there, you obviously banish Malicious, special summon Malicious, and then link those two off into Cross Crusader, and that's how you go from there. So, there's a bunch of ways for Hero to be played, and I am very happy with the deck and its current listing. I can't wait for the Evil Hero support to come to Master Duel, and I am eagerly awaiting the day where we get more Wingman fusion monsters, because I just know for a fact that's going to happen. When it comes to the favorite spell cards, or the favorite cards, we only have the 3, which is Eternal Favorite, which is specifically Yubel, Favorite Contact, and Favorite Hero, which is an equip spell if you have a Field Zone card. And last I checked, heroes don't play field spells. But yeah, that's Hero in a nutshell. So, I've been Ryukishi, and I'll see you next time.